Hello and welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Linda McNamee, in for Phil Gallagher. Joining me on this week's edition is BNEWS Director Rich Hosford, reporters Tad Stefanak, Chris Flaherty, and Robert Paris, Peter Brown with weather, and Maddie Shipka on the community calendar. Authorities are investigating the suspicious death of a female teenager in Burlington. Middlesex District Attorney Marion Ryan and Burlington Chief of Police Michael Kent said in a release there is an investigation into an apparent suspicious death. According to authorities, on Wednesday at approximately 4:00 p.m., Burlington police responded to a 911 call from a home located at McCafferty Way in Burlington. Upon arrival, officers discovered the bodies of an 18-year-old female and a 20-year-old male in the basement of the house. The preliminary investigation suggests that the male party's death is not suspicious. However, the female party's death is being investigated. This matter has been referred to the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner to determine the cause and manner of death. Both individuals are known to each other, and at this time, there is no indication that there is an ongoing threat to public safety. This is an ongoing and open investigation conducted by the Middlesex District Attorney's Office, state police assigned to the Middlesex District Attorney's Office, and Burlington Police. A former civilian employee of the Hanscom Air Force Base and a former Burlington Cub Scout leader was sentenced Wednesday in federal court in Boston in connection with possessing thousands of files depicting child pornography and related materials. William Gates, 41, of Burlington, was sentenced by U.S. District Court Judge Leo T. Sorokin to 30 months in prison and 5 years of supervised release, a release states. In April 2019, Gates pleaded guilty to 1 count of possession of child pornography. According to authorities, in November 2017, law enforcement in Boston received information from authorities in Australia about an investigation involving an online personal photo site known for hosting child pornography that was being used by a Boston area individual. In a subsequent investigation, authorities traced the IP address to Gates' home and to his workstation at Hanscom. After searching his digital devices, police found thousands of images and hundreds of videos of illegal material. The case was brought as part of Project Safe Childhood. In 2006, the Department of Justice created Project Safe Childhood, a nationwide initiative designed to protect children from exploitation and abuse. Led by the U.S. Attorney's offices and the DOJ's Child Exploitation and Obscenity Section, Project Safe Childhood marshals federal, state, and local resources to locate, apprehend, and prosecute individuals who exploit children, as well as identify and rescue victims. Burlington town officials attended a DPW recreation maintenance groundbreaking ceremony at the former Clark and Reed site. BNews reporter Robert Paris was there and has this look.
A multi-year project is finally in the works. On Monday, December 9th, town officials came together to take part in a DPW/recreation maintenance groundbreaking ceremony at the former Clark and Reed site on Great Meadow Road. The project to create a new hub for the 2 departments' maintenance divisions is the first part of the project. A new building for the highway and water divisions will also be built down the street. BNews anchor Phil Gallagher and I found out the scoop.
Tell us how this worked. What's the genesis of the whole project?
Well, so this is a project that's been in the planning for many, many years, and probably a few years overdue. But once this Clark and Reed site was found and determined that it would work to fit the needs with a little bit of engineering magic, I think, we were able to move forward. It was initially done as a 2-phase project where we would do the building on this site and then in a separate bidding phase do the highway department. But we realized that we could probably save, at first we thought $1 million, but it looks like we're going to save about $500,000 by bidding them together. And may actually save more than that when you look at, we would be bidding that next job 2 years from now.
The Parks and Recreation and Department of Public Works have often worked on many projects throughout the years together, and they will be working closer than ever before as the two facilities will be at one site.
From day one, and I've been working on this for well over 10 years, and from day one, even though it's a separate department, we thought that this is a project for the town of Burlington. It shouldn't be a project for the rec department, it shouldn't be a project for the DPW. And the best way is to have us combined. We do a lot of work, maintenance of their equipment, etc. We share equipment at times, so it only makes sense to build in essence, one facility. As you know, we ended up in two facilities, but we're still consolidating all into this site and the former site that the highway department currently has.
Lastly, the project will be completed until the end of 2020 and early 2021.
We toured all the town facilities about 5 or 6 years ago, and every single department head that did it, we were quickly realized that the poorest condition of our facilities was the recreation facility up on Overlook and both of our public works facilities. So we are thrilled beyond belief to be able to provide a new facility. We have first-class public works, we have a first-class parks and recreation, and now we're going to be able to provide them with a first-class facility in which to work. And I can't thank the residents and town meeting members enough for supporting this project.
From the old Clark and Reed site, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
The Board of Health is going to draft and vote on biotech safety regulations after a potential loophole in zoning bylaw language had them fearing a life sciences business could open in town without their approval. Board Chairman Ed Weiner raised concerns after learning that the Planning Board was working on a warrant article to change the high-rise industrial zoning by reducing some height and buffer area requirements. The issue, Weiner said, is that a zoning bylaw change passed by town meeting in January offers life science and biotech companies to occupy these districts by right. He said that if a biotech company applies for one of these areas, it would be required to go before the Board of Health because it would mark a change of use. But under the current zoning law, subsequent businesses in the same site may not be subject to such oversight. The plan now is to draft biosafety regulations in a subcommittee and bring it to the board on January 14th for a possible vote. This would ensure the regulations are in place before town meeting potentially approves the change in the zoning requirements during the session that starts on January 27th. Even if the regulations are not approved before a town meeting vote, Board of Health regulations are grandfathered. This means that even if the zoning language were changed in January, a company applied in February, and then regulations weren't approved until March, the company would have to meet the requirements of the regulations before opening. The Burlington, Billerica, and Tewksbury Police Departments recently hosted a reading of a play that takes a look at the process of addiction and recovery. BNews Director Rich Hosford was there and has this look.
On Thursday, December 5th, the Burlington Police Department joined the Billerica and Tewksbury Police Departments to present a reading of the play Recovery at Billerica's Marshall Middle School. Written by Ann Lucas and based on her experiences with her own daughter, the play shows the struggles of 3 young women suffering from addiction and how it impacts both them and their mothers. It is a pointed look at how substance abuse can cause real harm, even death, and that the road to recovery is difficult and not a straight line. The event was put on to give audience members a look at what addiction is really like and to let them know that if they have a family member or loved one suffering from it, they are not alone, do not need to feel shame, and that help is out there.
One of the most important things to me is that people really understand that this is a disease like heart disease or diabetes, and that you shouldn't be ashamed that your child is sick. You know, there's a lot of secrecy, there's a lot of shame involved. If my kid had had diabetes, I would have had maybe a GoFundMe page. But when your kid is an addict, you don't want to tell anyone, because I actually had one woman say to me, well, it's because of the kind of mother you are. Well, I know that's not true. People who are all different kinds of parents have drug-addicted children.
That's what a lot of families go through because they feel like they're going to get more judgment than support. And so we want people to know that's the absolute opposite, and there's a lot of support out there. And everybody has been touched by this epidemic, whether it's within their household directly or friends or other loved ones. And so we need people to know that there's resources to help.
Events like this are really important because people need to know that they're not alone, that other people are dealing with these things, families in particular. We look forward to events like this one tonight because it really supplements and reinforces everything we're doing. We're so fortunate to have our Parry unit in Burlington so we can provide those other elements, the education, the treatment, because this is a problem that is hitting families across the nation.
Members of the Burlington Police Department emphasize that they are there to be a resource for people with addiction. While they still make drug arrests to try and prevent more substances finding their way to victims, they are not looking to punish anyone seeking help.
Our approach now is a holistic approach. It's not enough to just be out there enforcing the laws. This is a problem that requires education, awareness, and treatment, and providing folks treatment. It's a much more open-minded approach. It's a holistic approach, and it's really a much better approach to even give us any chance at all of helping folks. Enforcement alone, we know that wouldn't work. That's only one component.
This philosophy from law enforcement is praised by the playwright.
It's amazing to me that these police departments are so forward-looking, are so willing to engage with the community, and really bring healing and health to their communities. It's a revelation, and I think it's also something that the world kind of needs to understand, that law enforcement has changed, because I think there's an attitude sometimes toward law enforcement of fear and secrecy from them. We don't want to tell them what's wrong, but they're really leaning into this with compassion, and I think that's amazing.
For Marshall Middle School, I'm BNEWS Director Rich Hosford.
Thank you, Rich. Burlington High School has crowned its Poet Laureate for 2019. Michaela Gnair, a senior at BHS, wowed her fellow students and the judges at this year's Poetry Out Loud competition. Gnair is co-captain of the BHS Poetry Club and competes on the school's Poetry Slam team. She beat out the other finalists on stage, and school's finals held on Tuesday. BHS English Department Chair Shannon Janovitz said Poetry Out Loud is a big undertaking for the students and requires a lot of work and dedication to not just memorize their poems, but to also perform them. She said it is both a scramble for them and a fun activity they can engage in. Gnair's final selection was Why Because the Dazzling Sun by Emily Bronte, a piece that carries special meaning for her. Here she is talking about the piece.
Why Because the Dazzling Sun by Emily Bronte, which was my second poem, is a very special poem to me. I love Emily Bronte's work in general. I actually found the poem my freshman year and was between two of hers and chose not to. And then every year I wanted it to be a special time when I was really ready for it. And the message, it's a love letter to the moon and to the stars and to wanting to sleep and loving the night more than the day.
Gnair will represent Burlington High School in regional semifinals competition at the Huntington Theater in Boston, where she'll compete with Poetry Out Loud winners from other Massachusetts schools. From there, they choose finalists to go on to the Massachusetts State Finals. The winner of that contest represents Massachusetts in the national competition. BCAT wishes the best of luck, BHS Poet Laureate Michaela Gnair, in her poetic pursuits in the competitions to come and beyond. You can watch the Burlington High School 2019 Poetry Out Loud Finals on our website, bcattv.org. Burlington Fire Station number 2 has just put its new engine in service for the District 2 area of the town. BNews reporter Robert Paris went to check it out and has this report.
I'm here in the new fire truck at Fire Station 2, and we're down here and we're ready to see what this equipment is all about. It's time for an upgrade. This week I headed down to Fire Station 2, where Captain Mark Cedrone gave me an exclusive look at the new fire engine.
This is a brand new 2019 Pierce Quantum pumper. It runs 1,500 gallons per minute at 150 psi. Brand new to Burlington. We just received it about 5 weeks ago and had driver training up until this point, and it was put in service last week.
The engine is filled with a variety of equipment and tools.
It's equipped with every emergency response tool that we would need. From Hurst hydraulics in the back here, a non-hydraulic, battery-operated jaws of life, hoses, ladders, medical equipment, everything you would expect from an emergency service pumper.
The engine will only be used in the District 2 area.
Burlington has 2 districts, District 1, District 2, and this is run out of Station 2 for District 2 purposes. So that's why we have an engine down here to serve the District 2 side, which is pretty much Middlesex Turnpike towards Mall Road, back to 95 that way.
Lastly, the station is excited to use the engine for the final month of 2019 and for many years to come.
It's reliable. It's Pierce. We're a Pierce house. We've had these vehicles for a long time. They're very stable. The people that work on them like them. They understand them.
From Fire Station 2, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
Thank you, Robert. The excitement and fare of the holiday season can often throw off healthier habits of eating and exercise. BNews Health and Fitness with Dr. Amanda Powell of Beth Israel Lahey Health shares some tips on how to make the season healthy and bright while maintaining a cheerful level of energy. Let's check it out.
The hustle and bustle of the holiday season can lead to a lapse in diet and exercise. Dr. Amanda Powell of Beth Israel Lahey Health has some medical advice for navigating those holiday calories and keeping your energy cheerful and jolly.
Protein bars can be really effective, especially sort of mid-afternoon snacking in order to curb your hunger, and they're easy, especially if you're busy or on the run or you're working. I don't necessarily have a brand per se, but I would say that finding a bar that has at least 20 grams of protein and under 200 calories generally can fit the bill. And I think it really depends on the patient's or the person's sort of response to stress. So some people choose to not eat when they're stressed and avoid eating, skipping meals, which is a challenge. And then other people, which is more common, actually stress eat. So in order to alleviate any stress or anxiety, they tend to snack. They tend to snack on high carbohydrate, high fat foods. So finding outlets for your stress in another way is really important. So we try to work with patients to explain to them that, whether they do yoga or they go exercise or they take a walk or they find other ways to manage their stress and plan for it so that they're not around food, and try to rediscover a different outlet for those emotions. Just be aware, particularly in things that you assume are healthy, like salads and vegetables, and simply a grilled fish or meat, because typically added oils and butters get added to meats or fishes, even if they appear to be fairly plain and not too many sauces. I think vegetables as well. So a lot of times people say, oh, I ordered the roasted asparagus or the spinach or the Brussels sprouts, but really they can be incredibly high calorie because butter and oil has been added to make it taste good. And salads can be one of the worst things in a restaurant menu, simply because of the high fat in the salad dressings, or the cheeses that get added to the salads to make them taste good. So typically salads can be one of the highest fat things you can order on a menu because of all the additional things added to the salad.
Thank you, Dr. Amanda, and thank you, Tad. The Rotary Club of Burlington has been working with local teenagers to help fight hunger and ensure everyone has enough to eat. Rise Against Hunger is an international hunger relief organization that distributes food and life-changing aid to the world's most vulnerable, mobilizing the necessary resources to end hunger by 2030. Since 2005, Rise Against Hunger has packaged over 515 million meals at 28 locations across the United States. In 2019, Rise Against Hunger has packaged 58 million meals. This past Sunday, Rotary Club of Burlington's Burlington High School Interact Club and Rotarians worked together to package 10,152 meals in 2 hours. The holiday season doesn't start in Burlington until Parks and Recreation trim up the trees. On Saturday, December 7th, the department hosted the annual tree lighting ceremony on the town common. BNews reporter Chris Flaherty has this look.
Saturday, December 9th, the town of Burlington officially kicked off the holiday season with the annual tree lighting ceremony. It was an evening of lights, music, and festive fun, all topped off with a visit from Santa Claus. None of this would have been possible without the efforts of the Burlington Parks and Recreation Department.
This doesn't happen without the staff that we have, the amazing Parks and Recreation staff, and volunteers. So it's not something they just start working on, at Thanksgiving. Oh yeah, we have a tree lighting. It's, months in advance. We start talking about ideas on what they want to do, different activities. And then the maintenance staff, they start preparing the common sometimes as early as September. But definitely October, start building the light strings and testing them and stuff, and then get them going. The timing of the storm was a little tough because the maintenance guys who are also working on testing everything and making sure it's ready to go were out 2 nights plowing. So, but they did a nice job and got everything working.
What do you like best about the tree lighting?
With all of our events, I love to see families together out here, just enjoying a couple hours on the common and enjoying each other, getting a chance to see Santa. That's probably what I like the best.
Be sure to stay tuned to BCAT for full coverage of this year's tree lighting ceremony, hosted by Maddie Shipka and yours truly. Until next time, this is Chris Flaherty for BNEWS Weekly, wishing you a happy holidays.
Thank you, Chris. Burlington's financial team is making the town proud by once again garnering recognitions for the quality of its reports. The Burlington Board of Selectmen recently announced that the town had been awarded the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting for the year ending June 30th, 2018 by the Government Finance Officers Association of the United States and Canada for the town's comprehensive annual financial report. This is the 4th year in a row that the Certificate of Achievement has been received, and it is the highest form of recognition in the area of government accounting and financial reporting. Its attainment represents a significant accomplishment by a government and its management. This national award is a reflection of how the town goes above and beyond to provide extensive transparency to residents and others. And we are very pleased to recognize the financial team's extreme amount of work done in the compilation of the report, said Town Administrator Paul Sagarino. The report is available on the town's accounting department's website at 2018 Comprehensive Annual Financial Report. The goal of the program is to ensure that users of their financial statements have the information they need in order to assess the financial health of participating governments. We go now to BNews weatherman Peter Brown for the latest forecast. We'll also check out the community calendar with Maddie Shipka to see what's happening in Burlington.
Well, hello everyone, and this is Peter Brown with a look at your weather for the next 7 days. And I know we have definitely been having the feel of winter here the past couple of weeks in the Burlington area. That is definitely something that we have really seen. Unfortunately, we've gotten into winter, and it looks like it is here to stay, at least for the short term. Now, starting our period on Friday, again, nothing new. We're seeing temperatures are going to be near or just below average for this time of the year. So a chilly feel out there if you have to get out and you have to start doing your holiday shopping, hoping you already have that started now, especially after all this bad weather that we've been having. I'm sure you need more time to go out there. But looks like, again, not going to be too bad starting out on Friday. We're going to see actually a really big warm-up as we get into our weekend, though, but that's going to, again, come with the chance of a lot of rain, and then you're going to see, our temperature is going to tail off when we get to the end of the week, probably pretty close to some of these record lows. Unfortunately, nowhere near these record highs. Maybe Saturday we might see that, but doesn't look like after that we're going to be seeing too much warm weather anytime soon. And of course, the days are just about as short as they can be at this time of the year, so at least we know a couple of weeks, the days start getting longer again. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at what we're going to be expecting for our temps and some of our precipitation coming up for the next 7 to 10 days here in the Burlington area. And as we go forward, we're going to be taking a look at what we're expecting from the Climate Prediction Center in terms of rain and snow. Now, according to this map here, looks like up in our area, most of New England, we're going to be about average precipitation to maybe slightly below. So maybe that'll help us in terms of maybe not getting as much snow. Looks like we're going to get a pretty good slug of rain, though, this weekend. But then after that, looks like it's going to tail off. Doesn't look like there's going to be too much snow in our forecast coming up. So if you're not a big fan of winter, that's at least a good sign. Now let's take a look at what we're expecting for our temperatures coming up for the next 7 to 10 days. And for those of you who might be like me, who like the warm weather, well, unfortunately, this map is not for us. Looks like we're expecting temperatures to be probably at or below average, and maybe significantly below average as we get towards the end of the period. If you want to get any of the warmth, looks like, of course, you're going to have to head down towards Orlando and Miami. Pretty nice weather down there. Unfortunately, no 80s coming to us in the near future, unfortunately. So as we go ahead, let's take a look at that weather that we have coming up for the next 7 days. Now, looking at this 7-day forecast, doesn't look nearly as active as we saw the past couple of weeks here in terms of winter weather. Again, starting on Friday, we're going to see fair skies, maybe seeing the chance of some showers moving in later in the day. Temperatures, again, kind of chilly, though. If we have any rain showers, it's going to be a chilly rain, highs only in the upper 30s. But then only going down to maybe about 36 at night if you have to be out shopping around in the Burlington area, going out to dinner. You will need that coat, but it's not going to be the bone-chilling cold like we saw about a weekend ago where it was down near 0. Now, as we get into Saturday, that's when we bring in maybe a chance of maybe a little bit of mixed snow early in the morning, but some heavy rain moving into our area as we get into the afternoon, maybe on the order of 1 to 2 inches. But temperatures, look at this, up into the 50s, so that's something to look forward to. Getting to Sunday and Monday, looks like we're going to have fair skies, temperatures cooling down a little bit, but pretty seasonable for this time of the year, only in the 40s. Now, on Tuesday, this is another kind of kink in our forecast here. Looks like we might have another pretty wet system coming in our area, and it could be a mix again of rain and some snow, probably more on the side of heavy rain with temperatures maybe in the mid-40s at the warmest. But look at this. After that storm passes by, we are going to see some real Arctic cold moving into the Burlington area. By Thursday, temperatures maybe not even getting out of the teens, and those morning lows down below 0. So everyone, looks like winter's here to stay, so get out there and enjoy the weather.
I'm Maddie Shipka, and this is your Community Calendar. Let that star shine bright. On Wednesday, December 18th at 4:30 p.m., the Burlington Public Library will be having an event called Star Ornament Decorating. Everyone is welcome and the event is free. For more information, visit burlington.org. Santa is coming to the district. On Saturday, December 21st from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., the Tuscan Kitchen in the district will be having an event called Brunch with Santa. The event is $28 per adult and $12 for children. Everyone is welcome and pre-registration is required. For more information and to register, call Tuscan Kitchen at 781-365-2800. Hear about the story of Jesus and celebrate his birth. On Sunday, December 22nd at 6 p.m., the Burlington Church of Christ will be having a candlelight service. Everyone is welcome and the event is free. For more information, visit burlingtonchurch.com. I'm Maddie Shipka, and this has been your Community Calendar.
Thank you, Peter, and thank you, Maddie. And normally at this time in the news, we go to the sports report. However, the Red Devils are between the fall and winter seasons. But have no fear, we will be back next week with a full BNEWS sports report with Liz Gillespie. So stay tuned. Another week, another photo to highlight. This week's photo shows the fun of another great Burlington event. It was sent in by Suju Tan and shows the Burlington Town Common all lit up for the annual tree lighting ceremony, complete with an exploding firework captured perfectly over the gazebo. The evening also featured a visit from Santa himself, who greeted Burlington children. Thanks for the photo, Suju. We'd like to see your photos. They could be of something you see around town, the weather outside your own door, or even photos of your family members and pets. Whatever you think is interesting and would like to share. Email your photos to bcatt@bcattv.org with the subject line, Photo of the Week. Well, That's it for this week's edition of BNEWS Weekly. I'm Linda McNamee. Stay safe, stay warm, and I'll see you around town. Good night.